What up? It's your boy, Luke for Prez, back yet again with another video for you guys. Hope everyone's doing well. In today's video, I'm going to cover my favorite way to sell beats online that requires zero ad spend or any monetary investment whatsoever. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that I personally rely heavily on paid advertising to sell my beats online, specifically Google ads, Facebook ads, and occasionally YouTube ads as well. But I realize, especially in these trying times, that not everybody can afford to invest hundreds or thousands of dollars a month on these digital ads. And so I wanted to explore alternative ways of still reaching a ton of people with your music without actually having to shell out any money whatsoever. And this method involves collaborating with producers who have bigger followings than you. I'm going to explain the exact method that I use to reach out to producers that you can implement right now to start getting more beat sales. If you're new to the channel, please do me a favor and like and subscribe, especially if you're a music producer in search of marketing tips. And with that being said, let's dive right on into this. This method requires you to have a library of melodies that you are willing to share with a number of producers. So that's really step one in this entire process. If you don't have any melodies right now that you'd be willing to send out to other producers, stop what you're doing and start cooking up, because that's the basis for this entire method. And at that point, head on over to the Beatstars homepage, hover over the tracks section here, and go to top charts. This is in a way similar to my video on how to sell beats on SoundCloud. It uses some of the same principles. There is some overlap. If you haven't checked that video out, I'll link to it in the little button thing. Definitely recommend you taking a look at that. But in any case, once you click on top charts, go ahead and click on hip hop. And what this will pull up is a real-time list of the top selling beats across the entire Beatstars platform. What you can do is simply go down this list, and if you scroll down, you'll see like it just keeps adding more and more to it. So it's basically like an endless list. Listen to the beats on this list and identify producers that you think you have a similar style to. Once you've identified a producer that you think would be a good fit for a collab, go ahead and open their profile by right-clicking on their name into a new tab, and just go down the list and do this and you know, as long as you want. Compile as big a list as you can. At that point, once you have your list, go ahead and go to their individual profiles and look for their contact information. So in this example, I pulled up a random one, the homie Versa from Stockholm. Shout out Versa. I'm not familiar with his beats, but he's obviously killing it because he was one of the top ones on the list. Usually under the about section, they'll have their email address. In this case, he doesn't, but he does have his Instagram and his YouTube listed. So most of the time, if you can't find it right on the profile, you'll be able to find it in the about section. Yep, see, look, view email address. Just click there, boom. Now you have his email address. Once you have the email address, what I do is create a Google sheet like this with 3 columns, the name of the producer, their email address, and the date that you reach out to them. Real simple. So I'll go ahead and do this for this example. Paste it right into the email section, put his name there, of course. Boom. Once you've done that, go ahead and repeat this process for everybody that you've identified from this initial list that you think would be a good fit for a collab. There's obviously no limit to how many producers you can reach out to, and this list is always updating in real time. So I recommend making this a part of your daily or weekly routine in terms of the amount of time you spend on marketing your beats. Once you've compiled your list of producers that you want to reach out to and send these melodies to, you're going to want to email them the melodies and a brief message explaining who you are and what you're hoping to get out of this collab. The main objective that you want to accomplish with this email is to get these producers to use your loops, upload the beat that they make with the loop to their Beatstars account, and split you as a collaborator on the post. I highly recommend asking for a 50-50 split, as to me that's the most fair. One person does the melody, the other person does the drums, boom, 50-50, keep it nice and easy. And that's how I always split up any collab that I have, and what I recommend for anybody trying to do this as well. The reason why this technique is so powerful is that by reaching out to the top sellers on Beatstars, even if you don't have any type of social media or YouTube following to speak of, you are harnessing the followings of these top producers who might have thousands or millions of plays on their profiles and thousands of followers on social media platforms. The only other way to do this, especially if you're just starting out, is to pay exorbitant fees for online ads. So once you have the list and the melody is ready to go, and you've drafted your email that you want to send these people, what I suggest doing is downloading a Chrome extension called Gmass. This allows you to send mass emails out straight from your Gmail account without having to BCC all of the people that you're sending the email to. The reason why I think this method is preferable is because, to me at least, and I get these messages a lot, it looks a little bit unprofessional when you see that the email that you've been sent from another producer has that BCC tag on it, meaning that they've mass emailed the same exact message to God knows how many producers. At the end of the day, if the loops they send me are fire, I'm still gonna use them. But these little touches, I think, will make a difference, especially when reaching out to these top producers. Once you have Gmass installed into your Gmail account, it's going to appear on all of the new messages that you send right next to the send button. And basically, all you have to do is go back to your producer collab spreadsheet, copy all of the emails that you've compiled, and place them directly into the recipients field all at once. You don't have to click BCC or anything. And Gmass will automatically send each person an individual email as opposed to just a mass one all at once. Gmass is free to use up to 50 emails per day. Beyond 50 emails a day, it does cost money, and there's different tiers of prices. I think the cheapest one is like $13 a month. But especially if you're just starting out and your list of producers is less than 50, there's absolutely no need to spend any money on this whatsoever. And even after that point, if you just want to do like a daily email in batches of 50, you can do that and it's going to be totally free for you. So I'll show you an example of the email that I send out to people. It looks like this. So I'm, basically explaining that I want it to be a 50-50 split. I'm not too pushy with it. I say that I'm gonna do that, and I expect the same. You can craft this email however you want. I don't necessarily recommend copying my shit word for word because I'm sending this out like on a regular basis. And then here's a major key. Do not forget to do this. Make sure you include the links to your social media and everything, but especially to your Beatstars profile, because that's how the producer is going to be able to add you as a collaborator when he uploads the beat to his profile. If you don't include this, it adds an extra step of the producer having to reach back out to you and asking for the exact link to your profile, because you'd be surprised at how many producers on Beatstars have very similar names. And so it just gets confusing, and it lowers the chances of this actually working out if you don't include your Beatstars profile link in the very beginning. Okay, now let's talk about this Dropbox link. There's actually a few reasons why I do it this way instead of sending individual files within the email. First of all, if you're using Gmass, you can't include attachments in your email. So that eliminates it right from the jump. But even if you could, I would still use a Dropbox link because, number one, sending a bunch of loops out is gonna take up space on your email account, and it's also gonna take up space on the producer's email account. By using a Dropbox link, it allows the producer to browse through the individual loops in your pack before downloading them to see if they want to use 1, 2, or all of the loops that you've sent. So it's going to save space on the computer of the person you're sending it to, and it's just an easy way to keep everything organized. If you're unfamiliar with Dropbox, it's a cloud-based storage system that's completely free to sign up with. What it looks like basically is once you log in, once you create an account and log in, all you have to do is go to new folder, create a folder name, and then once you have that, you can simply drag in the loops that you want to be sending out to people. And this is actually a real loop pack that I send out to people of loops that I've created. I put a lot of time into labeling them individually to give the producer I'm sending it to the most information possible to make their life easier and to increase the chances of them actually using the loops. So I've named them individually, and then I put the key and the BPM of every single one. That's just gonna make their life so much easier and increase the chances of this working out for you. Once you've uploaded all of the loops that you wanna include, all you have to do is click share folder, and then down here, click copy link. And now the link is copied to your clipboard, and you can go ahead and paste it into the body of the email that you want to be sending. 2 things I highly, highly, highly recommend that you include in your Dropbox folder with your loops is number 1, your producer tag, because obviously if the producer is uploading a beat with your loop, you're gonna want that watermark on there, you're gonna want that credit. So include your producer tag, and also consider including a text file in your folder with your exact terms for collaboration. So I actually received one of these recently from a producer that I actually ended up using one of his loops named True Colors. Hope he doesn't mind me putting him on blast here with his little terms of use text thing. But he just basically says, thanks for your sending me your email. Here's 16 samples. I usually do 50-50 on Beatstars, 20-80 for placements, which I think you should do 50-50 on placements also, but that's just what he does. And then of course he includes his Beatstars account and his socials and his email as well. So that's basically the step-by-step process that you can implement on a daily or weekly basis to get collabs with producers with bigger followings than you that will result in more beat sales. Now, I want you to go into this with realistic expectations. The bigger the producer that you're reaching out to, the less likely it is that they're actually gonna respond. They get spammed day and night with people sending them loops. So you have to think of this as a sales job, essentially. It's a numbers game. You're gonna have to send out a high volume of these emails in order to get people to respond. But even if it's 1 in 50, 1 in 100, if you're sending out hundreds and hundreds of these emails, that's gonna add up over time, and you're gonna create more and more relationships with more and more producers over the long term. So don't get discouraged if nobody responds right away. You might have to do this several times before you get any nibbles. And at that point, if you're still not getting any nibbles, you might wanna go back and reevaluate the quality of your loops, because the entire thing falls apart if you're making trash loops at the end of the day, right? That's what it boils down to. So you might want to step your game up in that regard before considering doing this if that's something that you think you're shaky on. Another thing that you can do if you don't want to rely solely on the top sellers on the Beatstars charts to find producers is go to YouTube and type in the name of an artist that you make beats for, or in the same style of, like for me, 21 Savage, right? Is a big one. So just type in 21 Savage type beat and then go to the filter at the top of the page and sort by view count. This is gonna pull up the very top videos that people have posted with 21 Savage type beats. As you can see, these top ones have millions and millions of plays, right? So if you can see in the description that a lot of these people have Beatstars accounts, right? This is another way of doing it. Even if they're not necessarily at the top of the charts right this second, there's a good chance that with 5.1 million views on this particular beat, right, that this person is selling a lot of leases of this beat and probably others, right? So this is another way, and look, this guy has his email address right in the description, so that's super easy. So that's just an alternate way of finding producers that you might want to try out. This is by no means the only method to doing this. It's just what I found to be the most useful and successful. And again, if you're not getting responses for some of these top people, it's very understandable because again, like Cash Money AP's up here, like, you know, obviously he's probably gonna be a little hard to reach, but you can just keep scrolling down and eventually like people are gonna start responding to you, especially if the loops are fire. So yeah, that's basically it. That is my favorite way of selling beats online with zero ad spend whatsoever. Like any way of getting organic sales, it's gonna require a little bit of groundwork. It's gonna be a little bit time consuming and it's going to require some tedious business development type work. But in the long run, this is how you can go from ground zero to, you know, the top floor penthouse situation. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but you get what I'm saying. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on it. I hope you have found this video useful. If so, once again, please like and subscribe. I got more content on the way. Follow me on Instagram. That's something a bunch of YouTubers say and I've yet to say it, so shit. Follow me on the gram, @LukeForPrez. Get at me. Let's collab. Hit me up. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I never know how to end these things, so yeah, see you on the next one. Peace.